ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोर्न वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मौ मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदर मोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद् राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालेऽपि सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियस्तु नः। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। The happy situation. So now get into our third story. I hope everybody is eagerly waiting for third story, and this story really will give complete boost to our confidence. This is the story of power of Ekadashi. This is the power of Ekadashi and the story of a great personality who even defied the curse of a Brahmana, and he is Ambarish Maharaj. So we are going to hear for next few minutes the great story of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj is a very, very role model devotee for all. It is not, there are so many kings, but why Ambarish Maharaj? He is and everybody would aspire to become even Ambarish Maharaj, because he is a great king and same time is a great devotee. So it's a great combination. As one of the instances, Supreme Lord mentioned that actually the name, fame, birth, education, beauty really give a great pride to human beings. But if somebody, despite all this, if he is having humbleness, that is a special blessing. So we find a great example of Ambarish Maharaj really having the highest order of opulence, but at the same time topmost level of devotion. And like him, nobody could really perform devotional service. That's why Prabhupada also always, even in Bhagavad Gita, has given many quotes that how the entire Navavida Bhakti the Ambarish Maharaj mentioned. And not only he ensured that each and every part of his body, mind, intelligence, soul, everything, desires, everything he has put in connection to Krishna, in service of Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. This goes like this. It's very, very famous. So let us see what great things the Ambarish Maharaj did. And mind you that he also belongs to our great Vaivasvata Manu. Because I told that there are 10 sons, Each son is having each son from that a big lineage came, and from one of that, this Ambarish Maharaj. So how great he is. So he received Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Because of this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, because he has assimilated the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, he could really give birth to 10 wonderful sons who are the highest wonderful performers of the whole universe. Just try to understand the power of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not for renunciation. Bhagavad Gita is not for getting dejected about the world. Bhagavad Gita is essentially to become successful. Bhagavad Gita is essentially to become opulent. Bhagavad Gita is essentially to become very powerful, and also at the same time highest morality. And understand that Krishna is a personality. Right? So Bhagavad Gita is being miscommunicated as a means of telling us the world is Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam. That's only just beginning. Bhagavad Gita is to understand the soul. Bhagavad Gita understands the super soul. Bhagavad Gita understands the supreme personality everywhere, and understanding the Guhyatama Gyan. Bhagavad Gita is essentially for Guhyatama Gyan. Guhyatama Gyan is surrendering to Krishna. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji ma namaskuro mame vaisya satyante pratijane priyosine sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami. This is called Guhyatama Gyan. Before that, Guhyatara Gyan. Before that is Guhya Gyan. So Gita is this. And the Manu understood very well from his Vivaswan. That's why he became very powerful and his lineages become very powerful. So this Manu is having one more son, is called Nabhaga. So Nabhaga's son is Nabhaga. So this Nabhaga was he stayed for long time in Gurukul. When he was staying a long time Gurukul, his other brothers felt that this Nabhaga is no more going to come, because I think he has now got attached to this Gurukula and all those things. So they divided all the entire property happily, excluding this Nabhaga. But after many years, Nabhaga came and asked, okay, my dear brothers, it seems you all divided all the property, but what about me? Then they felt, this fellow has suddenly come. They said, oh no, we have also divided. We have kept for you our father. So father is your portion. So you please take care of it. Remaining entire opulence is ours. We have kept especially father to you. Then Nabhaga went to his father and asked, is it father that you have been allotted to me? Then he said, no, your brothers have cheated you, but it's already done. I can't do anything, but I am giving you a good hint. There are some great pious people, Angirasa Gotrika. They are doing some yajna regularly, Mahayajna they are doing. But I noticed that every sixth day they are performing some mistake. So I am giving you a tool. You go and chant these mantras, so that it is a antidote for their mistake, and they will understand that you are actually helping. They will give you a lot of money, lot of opulence. So this Nabhaga place, and as the time came, he uttered those suktas, basically prayers, and they all felt happy. And when the yajna is over, they are going back to Swarga, and they are given whatever left over, all opulences they are given to Nabhaga. When the Nabhaga was taking all the opulences coming, one black person came, stopped her. No, this opulence, all this wealth belongs to me. You can't take it. Then he was stunned. No. All these people who are doing performing, they have given me. Then the black man said, no, you can't take it. It belongs to me. They cannot give you. Then the black man said, okay, let us go to your father. Nabhaga is a very great pious person, is an intelligent person. He is the son of the Manu. Let's go to him. So both went, and the moment they put forward, the Nabhaga clearly mentioned, yes, actually this is the land where the Daksha Yajna took place. When the Daksha Yajna was performed, at that time all the Ritviks, they mentioned that though the Daksha Yajna was completely destroyed and performed later, whatever is done here, everything belongs to Lord Shiva. They are mentioned. So, in fact, it belongs to Lord Shiva only. So, whatever this black man is saying, it belongs to him only. Because Nabhaga understood that the person who is objecting is none other than Lord Shiva. So then Lord Shiva understood that this Nabhaga is very intelligent, and he has given the right decision. He became very happy and said that I am very much pleased with your religious principle. No problem. Let this entire money or wealth go to your son Nabhaga. Like that way is mentioned, and this is also very, very auspicious story. And whoever hears, they will be really benefited, and they become expert in the knowledge of the soul. So, and this Nabhaga's son is Ambarish Maharaj. The story is like that. Nabhaga's son is Ambarish Maharaj, because he was very strict and very religious, and even doesn't have money also when he got it also, and he was finally blessed by Lord Shiva. And the Ambarish Maharaj has appeared to him. He has become very big king, and he was so much dedicated to Lord Krishna, and it is clearly mentioned that Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo vachamsi vaikunta gunanuvarnane karo harer mandira marjamadisho shrutim chakara chuta satkato dhaye mukunda lingalaya darshane drusho tadbrucha gata sparshenga sangamam granam jatat pada saroja saurabhe srimat sulasya rasanam tadarpite pado hare kshetra padanusparshane shiro rushi kesha padabhivantane kamam cha dasye janatu kama kamyaya yadottama shloka janashrayaratihi. So in this way, he has given his mind to always constantly think Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. So the word also is Krishna. So it is not in Dwapara Yuga. It is just beginning of even the Vaivasvata Manu time. So he was constantly thinking a Supreme Personality Godhead is eternally there. This is the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is this message of Bhagavad Gita. Only those who are fortunate, they will understand this. Remaining all will miss this. Remaining all people will miss this. Only by the association of pure devotees, when we are blessed by the great Vaishnava Acharyas, we will understand this by body, mind and manasa, vacha, karmana, and then our life becomes very blissful. So, his mind is completely filled with the lotus feet of Krishna, and his hands are engaged in cleaning, mopping the temples of Karo, Harer, Mandira, Marjanadishu. So he was engaged. He was king. He was a king. He can engage 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people to clean the temples, but he himself used to clean. Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Satkado. So all his ears are engaged in hearing Achyuta Satkatha, hearing Satkatha. Mukunda Lingalaya Darshano Drushao. So by he has used his eyes just to look at only the Supreme Lord. Tadbrucha Gata Sparshaja Sangamam. The Sparsha, the touch, the sense of touch, how he is utilized, whoever the devotees are there, he is to just embrace. By embracing the Vaishnavas, he is to satisfy his sense perception. And Granam the Tatpada Sarojaka Saurabhe, and he has to sanctify his smell, the sense of smell, by smelling the flower. And Srimat Chulasya Rasanam Tadarpite, the Tulsis also is to taste by smelling that, and Rasanam, and is whatever the taste, Rasanam Tadarpite. Rasanam means his tongue satisfied by eating the remnants of Krishna. Padau Hare Kshetra Padanusparshane. He used to use his legs to walk towards the temples of Krishna. Siro Hrushi Kesha Padabhivandane. To use his head for bowing down in front of Rishikesh. Rishikesha is the Lord, Supreme Lord in the heart, ready to act as the best friend. Kamancha dasye chitata kamya kamyaya. So all his desire to fulfill the desire. So that was the greatest Ambarish Maharaj. And he was having unlimited opulence. You can't imagine. Unlimited opulence. That's why everybody wants to become like Ambarish. I also want to become Ambarish Maharaj. But are you ready to dedicate completely to Krishna? That I cannot guarantee. Somebody says, I want to become only Ambarish, but I'm not so much like that. But the moment he is there, people also worry, oh, if you worship Krishna, Krishna will snatch away all the opulences. He is not going to snatch your opulence, somebody else. So first you become devotee of Krishna. But from Ambarish Maharaj, we can understand that Ambarish Maharaj was blessed with unlimited opulence, unlimited Akshaya. Akshaya Dhanarashi. Is having the Dhanarashi is like Akshaya. That everybody is looking for Akshaya Tritiya. So Akshaya Tritiya will come only for a devotee like Ambarish. And the beauty is that he was having everything, but he was not attached. But at the same time, did not get detached and thrown out. He is using everything, but he is not attached. And so fortunately, his wife is also very much devoted to Krishna. So they were so much fortunate and so much attached to Ekadashi Vrata. So one day, both husband and wife, the king and queen, they said that, okay, let us follow this Ekadashi Vrata very detailed for one continuous year as a Vrata. So they took as a 1 year Vrata, means following every Ekadashi, following Ekadashi, Dvadashi Vrata, but with all seriousness for 1 year. So after 1 year it has come, and everything they did it, essentially they did it in Yamuna. And when Supreme Lord was so much become happy with devotion, and he has given Sudarshan Chakra as a protection for him in his worship. So the Sudarshan Chakra came all the way and stayed in the house of Ambarish Maharaj. So when he did for 1 year continuously, and the 1 year is coming to end, and the Ambarish Maharaj and wife, and with all this entourage, they went to Yamuna and they bathed, and they did everything is about to be completed. The Parana time has come. So he made all the arrangements, offering everything done. And when he was about to do the Ekadashi Parana, the Durvasa Muni, the Mahayogi Durvasa Muni came with 10,000 disciples. He came with that, the biggest problem. Then he said, oh, it's a very fortunate condition. The great personality also came. So let him be also worshipped. And he said, and please come here, and now we are doing the Dvadashi Parana. Please take you also prasadam with us, Krishna prasadam. Then Durvasa Muni said, okay, good, but first I will go and do my routine daily activities I should perform. And it's called Nityanusthana. So he has gone for Nityanusthana, and he went in banks, and he sat down in the waters and went into Samadhi and forgot the time. So they forgot, and now here Dvadashi Parana, only one Muhurta was left over. So the Ambarish Maharaj felt that he has done with a great Vrata for 1 year, and if he don't do the Parana at the right time, he will lose the complete benefit. He will not come. So I have given the elaborate purpose of this Ekadashi Vrata and Parana in one of the talks. So you can see, which has been uploaded in the Bhaktivedanta College YouTube channel in Hindi, English and Telugu. So you can keep on hearing that. That will give you stimuli for your attachment to Ekadashi Vrata. And he said that Ambarish Maharaj said to the Brahmanas around him, and said that now that I have to really the Vrata, because 1 year I have with all sincerity did, the Parana should be done within the time. So with your permission, I am going to take water, which is considered as Parana, fasting also, as Parana also. So with your permission, I am taking. And all Brahmanas accepted, and he took the water as a Parana by thinking of Lord Krishna. And when he did, it's called that by meditating on Achyuta he did. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So meanwhile, Durvasa Muni, he came and he understood by his Trikalagna, understood that this man did something, and he took that as an objection, and he got so much offended, and said that this person has invited me as Atithi, but before coming he himself ate. Actually he has not eaten, he only took some water, but he felt that he has been offended, and he immediately removed a hair, one or two pieces of hair from his head, and thrown it on the earth to create a great demon called Krutya. Krutya is a fiery demon. It was holding a Trishula, and it immediately jumped onto Ambarish Maharaj to kill him. But Ambarish Maharaj, when he saw that it is coming towards him, he did not even step back even 1 second. He just was steady. He was just only folded hands. And he did not even say anything. He did not pray also. He just folded hands, standing. But immediately at the time, the Lord has given the Sudarshan Chakra as a protection. So always, that's why we should understand that for devotees, protection is always ensured. That's why whenever we go to temple, first we see the protection, the Supreme Lord. Before seeing the Lord himself, we see the Sudarshan Chakra as a protection. And we should pray to Sudarshan Chakra as a protector, that, oh, let we be blessed of coming again and again, day after day, till end of our life, and first to see you and then proceed to the Lord Darshan. We should pray. We should not simply think, we should pray to Sudarshan. Jai Jai Sri Mahasudarshana. We should say like this, openly, and pray, and so that we want to see you every day. We want to see, so that we can get protection from you. We can come every day and see you and also see the Supreme Lord. We should speak our desire in front of Sudarshana every day. So the Sudarshana just came and immediately smashed the Krutya. Smashed Krutya in just a fraction of a second. And Sudarshana did not stop there. He proceeded towards the creator of Krutya, who is none other than Durvasa. Durvasa first of all got stunned. First stunning is that his entire power got smashed by Sudarshana, and now the Sudarshana started running after him. Then he had no chance than to run away, and started running all over the universe. And finally he went first to Brahma. Brahma said it is beyond his imagination that he would counteract the Sudarshana. And he went to Lord Shiva also. Lord Shiva also said it is just beyond imagination. He said that the power of Lord Vishnu is beyond our imagination. We can't even think of it. And he suggested that you better go to Vaikuntha. So Durvasa Muni went all the way to Vaikuntha and just fell at the feet of Lord Narayan. That, Hey Achyuta, Hey Ananta, Hey Jagat Rakshaka, Hey Bhakta Jananatha, I made a great offense. I am a great offender. Please protect me. Please protect me. I made an offense that you are devotee, but I am a great offender. Please protect me. When he said, the Supreme Lord Narayana told wonderful things which speaks about his heart. He speaks of, if we want to understand what is Krishna's heart, we have to read this chapter. How much Krishna is attached to devotees. What is in his heart? What Krishna feels about devotees, will hear from the words of the Narayan. He says that Aham Bhakta Paradhino. Aham Bhakta. Actually, I am completely surrendered. And I am under the control of all my devotees. I am not independent. I'm not independent. And my devotees, they don't have desires. They don't have any desires. That's why their heart is completely clean. That's why I go and stay in their hearts. And that's why they are very dear to me. Not only they are dear to me, I am not only they are dear to me, to whom my devotee considers they are dear, and they are also dear to me. Just imagine. The other persons may not be interested in me, but they are interested in my devotee, and I consider them very dear to me. Just imagine. That is my connection with my devotees. And my pure devotees, they dedicate everything, their life, their friends, their life, their money, their life, everything. Then how can I leave them? Just imagine. I cannot do that. And my devotee is always in my heart, and I am always in his heart. So there is for them, there is nothing in the world other than me, and I also feel that I don't have anybody in the world except them. So in this condition, I cannot do anything. But I have one suggestion. You immediately go to Ambarish, Bhakta Ambarish, and quite possibly he would give you some rescue. When the Lord Vishnu also lifted his hand, but given suggestion, the Ambarisha, but at the time when he was praying, the chakra was still there, but and he's chasing in front of Vishnu standing. He is talking. Because he's talking, he was just waiting. When he died, again he went, running after. He again went running and fell immediately like a stick in front of the Ambarish Maharaj. When Ambarish Maharaj and he prayed, then Ambarish Maharaj understood the whole thing and started praying to Sudarshan Chakra. Sudarshan Chakra, the great prayers are there for the Sudarshan Chakra. We can see in the Srimad Bhagavatam what are things prayed. And he finally said that if I have given the great donations to Satpratra, and if I have done the great Yajna Yagadi, and I have followed all the religious principles, and if I have given direction by the various Brahmanas, and if I am a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, let this Brahmana be protected from Sudarshan Chakra. The moment he said, Sudarshan Chakra became completely cooled down. It just completely cooled down, and the Durvasa became also peaceful. And he simply felt very happy, and he praised a devotee that actually I wanted to kill you, I made attempt to kill you, but you have protected me. This is a great. I am first time seeing the power of a devotee. I am first time seeing the nature of a devotee. I never saw, I never heard. And in that way he mentioned. And originally when I accepted Aditya, I was little doubtful. But now I am with complete heart, I am accepting your Aditya. And he took prasad to this full extent, very happy. His heart is full and his stomach is full. And he has given a blessing that Ambarish, you are so great that your glories will be sung even in the Swargaloka, all the Apsaras will sing your glories. This is my blessing. And even the human beings in the earthly planet also, eternally they will sing your glories. He has given the blessings. That's why the Brahmana was so much happy that he has given even without asking all this. And in this way, Durvasa was completely satisfied, and in the sky path, he went back to Brahmaloka to narrate his experiences to Brahmaji. And here Ambarisha, for 1 year, because the Durvasa Muni was moving all over for almost 1 year. So till then Ambarish also did not eat anything. And when he came back, when he is given prasadam, then only he took the prasadam and was completely satisfied. And when this is the great story of Ambarish Maharaj. That's why whoever is interested in Ekadashi, they will come to know the great story, opulence and devotion of Ambarish Maharaj. And then afterwards he took Vanaprastha, and he has given the kingdom to his sons, and they live. And Shukadeva Goswami says that whoever hears the most wonderful Ambarisha, or whoever glorifies this story, and they will become surely pure devotees. If you want to become a pure devotee, you should hear the story of Ambarish Maharaj. And whoever hearing the Ambarish Maharaj story, and by the mercy of Lord, they all become liberated, and they will develop incessant love towards Supreme. So we can understand that Ambarish Maharaj was a very opulent Ambarish Maharaj, and never got deviated because of the. Rather, he has used all the opulences for the service of Krishna. And he was in the Grihasthashram. He was not even deviated, even when he's Grihasthashram. So from this we can understand that neither Grihasthashram is detrimental for our devotional path, nor great opulences is detrimental for path. So these are all only mental concoctions. The mental concoctions that wealth is going to become a hurdle. If you take higher activities, you are going to be hurdles. You will be haunted by Maya. These are all mental concoctions. There are clear examples, role models in Srimad Bhagavatam, that how each and everything can be really utilized in Krishna's service and come out to be a dedicated Krishna's servant. And Krishna wants. Just we are seeing the Manu was so powerful. Manu was so powerful that not only he, all his sons and descendants, so powerful. So that's what should be the mood of devotees. And at that time, Krishna consciousness really played a vital role in the lives of people across the world. Whatever Srila Prabhupada desired to bring real unity and peace in the world, only Krishna consciousness can bring real unity and peace in the world. This is the first purpose of ISKCON. So that is the dream of Srila Prabhupada. And Krishna consciousness has it has that potency, it has that power to really fulfill the statement of Srila Prabhupada. And we can understand it, experience it, Pareshanubhava, when we really dwell in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we dwell in Srimad Bhagavatam, then this will come in our way. So with this, we are completing the third story. I am very sure that we have enjoyed more than earlier stories.